Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2026 Lexus IS350 F Sport design. This model is finished off in ultra white, and the MSRP is just shy of $49,000. So this is basically the entry-level 350 for this trim level, and we'll start off with what this is powered by, which is the naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6. This is paired to the 8-speed automatic. It pumps out 311 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. It is rear-wheel drive. It'll do 0 to 60 in just shy of 6 seconds with a top speed of 143 miles an hour. As far as fuel economy goes, you're looking at 19 in the city and 27 out on the highway. Now up front for this latest generation, still retains the hourglass design for the grille. Finished off in gloss black for this model with plenty of cutouts and some inlets as well. You'll notice that the Lexus badge has been separated from the distance pacing sensor, so that's in the lower section there. And then off of both sides of the grille, there's the dark housing with LEDs and that DRL strip. You'll notice more gloss black in the lower corners of the bumper there, and then the bullnose design. So the lines in the hood flow nicely around the Lexus badge to the opposite side there. Now for this F Sport design, this has the 19-inch wheels. It also has the base brakes, so they're gray there, not painted red like some of the F Sport models. It does have the normal suspension too, which is going to be a little bit softer. There's the F Sport badge, gloss black for the lower side skirt, and then the power folding side mirrors, which have a camera and this gray trim accent. Now for the window trim, it's not gloss black. It may look like it, but it's a nice dark chrome, and then there's also the sunroof up top. Same profile for the side as the previous generation with some nice sloping lines in the lower section. And then in back, there's a much larger gloss black spoiler. Lexus is now spelled out. There's LEDs for the lighting, backup camera, and then gloss black for the bumper with the dual exhaust. Now you can use the release on the key fob or the control underneath to gain access to the cargo space, where this does have a spare tire underneath, and then you can fold the back seats down to get in some more storage, and there's also some tie-down hooks too. There's one grab handle on that right side. It's a very light trunk, so it's easy to close. Now as we work our way to the interior, you'll notice there's some gray stitching, one speaker, and then the dark gray trim accent for the window control. And then with the leather trim seats, you can fold them down, and you have a little bit of a step up there, but still an opening to place in some larger items. And at 5'10", I have a good bit of space. There's storage pockets, vents and auxiliaries. There's a small bulge in the middle where you'd have to have a foot on both sides if you were the middle passenger. And at 5'10", I'm just barely touching the headliner. Now there's also the armrest and cup holders. So this is on the smaller side for a sedan, but you could fit in a car seat. I could ride around town, maybe go on a short trip. So if you're not looking for a large vehicle, it is still going to be functional. Now there's the window controls, side mirror adjustments up top. You do get storage pockets for up front, and then the automatic front seats. And as we start this up, we're greeted with the leather steering wheel with some gray accents for the paddle shifters and the lower section. On the right side, there's all the cruise control settings along with mode and tuning. And then on the left side, there's voice commands along with volume and adjustments for the full digital gauge cluster. So by scrolling left or right, we can pull up 1, 2, and 3. And if you hit on OK, this is how you can further customize the left, the middle, and the right. So just depending on what you would like to see, you can have 3 shortcuts set up and scroll through it as needed. So it's very nice just to have all of that ready to go. Now this is also an automatic steering wheel, so that you have the adjustment for that. Hidden on the right side is the e-brake, and then on the left side, there's the hood and trunk release, odometer trip, and the brightness for the gauge cluster. There's also a new design for the air vent. You get some leather and stitching on the gauge cluster cover there. And then with this larger infotainment system, it's very easy to go through. Everything on the left side is going to be fixed, and you can pair your phone. You can go through Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and use that very nicely. Now you have some shortcuts here. This is how you sync your climates up front, so you do have to go into the screen for that. There's several driving modes that you can turn on and off. There's also the active sound control, so that's some of the piped in noises that you can turn on and off. There's some trip information along with vehicle alerts, and then you can get into quite a lot of settings here, just depending on what you would like to customize. Interior lighting, you have your doors when you exit and enter, some of the lights too, voice commands, very easy and straightforward. There's air vents underneath that, a new layout for the climates. With fan speed, temperatures are on the far ends. There's some defrosters where you'd like the air to go, auxiliaries, and wireless charging. And then there are 3 different driving modes. So you can go through those as needed. There's also snow, traction control, and auto hold. And in reverse, you have 2 different angles along with multiple guidelines that you can adjust as well. And then you can shift here or with the paddle shifters. Now behind that, there's volume, the heated seat adjustments, forged bamboo for this whole trim accent. There's cup holders, an auxiliary with storage, a locking glove box, and then rear view mirror, touch sensitive dome lights, and the 2 controls for the sunroof. The sunshade is going to be manual. And then here's a look at visibility where it's pretty easy to see. So you can look around both shoulders and have great view. And still in sport mode, 2nd gear, here we go. And with a minor acceleration, we're up to speed. And this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the latest Lexus IS350. Definitely a great place to be. I do like the new updates for this model. From previous reviews I have made, I think having that sliding tack would have been cool to incorporate somehow. That seems to be a big comment with this latest model, along with no more cluck. So you don't have that digital cluck anymore in the middle. But aside from that, I like the new update. The larger screen makes it so much easier to view all this information, but to pair your phone too. When you have the navigation on, it will still show you turn by turn in the gauge cluster, so you don't have to be on the navigation map when you have that on and running, which is nice. And everything else is fairly similar to the previous model in terms of some of the controls and everything, but there's no more trackpad either, so it is strictly a touchscreen system being replaced with some controls down below there. But you have a good bit of visibility. I like that the side mirrors are poked out a good bit, so you can actually see in front of both of them with thin A-pillars up front. And it's a comfortable place to be. If you're looking for a vehicle, especially with the NA engine, which a lot of people seem to think it needs to be updated, this is an engine that Lexus has had for at least a decade, if not longer. So I could see it, being an old engine, but at the same time too, that's what draws people to it. It's a naturally aspirated engine. This is a vehicle that you will have for 10, 15, 20 years and really have no issues. It's going to be very easy to maintain, and it's incredibly reliable, as we've seen over the last 15 or so years with this engine. With the IS500 no longer being available, I think some kind of tune, maybe a hybrid system, twin turbo engine or something would be a great option for those that miss the IS500 and you want that additional power and performance. Lexus has to come out with something for those buyers, because the IS500 was a fantastic vehicle with that NA V8. Now in terms of maneuverability, like I said, it's not a big vehicle, so look at how tight this turning radius is. Very, very nice. So we'll just have to wait and see if Lexus comes out with a replacement for the IS500. That's the only reason I mention it, because we have the same power output for this 350. So it would be nice to see some kind of variant just to add some more power to replace that Model 2. But in general, with the IS350, you have a few different trim levels to go with. So you have a few options just depending on your budget and the style of vehicle that you would like. So I would say this is more on par of being a daily driver with the F Sport tuned suspension. Absolutely, you could daily drive that 100%, but it just gives you some more characteristics that maybe not everybody will use. So fantastic vehicle for this base level, basically, where you still have some nice options and everything checks the boxes for a daily driver and what you would need. Well, that is going to wrap it up for the 2026 IS350 F Sport design. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this for me today. Check out the website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.